Well, good morning. I guess we'll begin this Council on Aging meeting by reading the governor's notice about open meetings and how we work that. So the governor has suspended certain provisions of the open meeting law, and he's also imposed a strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. And because of that, this meeting of the North Andover Council of Aging will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with the right or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.northandoverma.gov. Members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so on their TV by turning to CamEd, Comcast Channel 99 or Verizon 28, or online at nacm.northandoverma.gov. No in-person attendance of the public is permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover website an audio recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. If the public would like to participate, please email your question or comment prior to or during the meeting to Irene O'Brien. It's IOBRIEN at northandoverma.gov. The question or comment will be read during the meeting and responded to accordingly. That's the legal notice. On attendance, I see Irene, David, myself, Jennifer, Joe McCarthy, Joe Nahill, Pat Riley, Quintira Cara, Maria, Tracy, Paula Lynch, and absent is John Graham. I think that's all. Did I miss anybody, or is anybody else here that I didn't say? If so, then we'll move on. If not, rather. Next item is the minutes of the previous meeting. We've all been sent the copy of the minutes that Secretary has produced. Are there any questions or comments or additions or changes anyone wants to suggest? If not, can I have a motion to approve them as submitted?
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Anybody opposed? I'm hearing somebody make some very muffled noise. I can't understand.
Yeah, I can't either. What's that?
Whoever is trying to say something, I can't understand any of it.
Okay.
I'm just going to assume there's no objection, that everybody's in favor of it, because I can't understand whatever somebody is saying. It's very muffled and can't understand a single word. So, okay, let's move on. First item on the agenda is the reports and updates, and first is Irene O'Brien, the Elder Services Director. Irene, what would you like us to know?
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Do you need to wear the mask, Irene?
Yes, I do. I cannot
Even where you are now?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, Trees,
We have to have it on at all times.
please try to speak loudly and clearly and slowly.
Okay, I will do that. What I have submitted our budget for this year. It is a level funded budget, which means that no increases were allowed at all. So I'm just going to go down the line items for you, and I'll explain what each line item that we have is for The first one is equipment rental and lease, which covers 2 copiers. One is upstairs and one is downstairs, and it is $6,000. It's a lease fee, and that also is included with the printing of color copiers and covers the maintenance on the machine. For training and education, we have $2,000 we're giving to us this year, and that would be staff development, education, and networking. The telephone cut 2 cell phones, which one Paula has and one I'm in possession of. And postage is $2,600, and that helps us with our newsletter mailing. The Friends usually cover 2 of the mailings a year for us, and we cover 1 because we do the newsletter now 3 times a year. And I'm actually looking back to maybe going out on get the 4th time out because it seemed quite a long time. It's just that things happen so fast, and we get one newsletter out, and it's time to do another one. And I wish that we could get more information out to people a better way than the newsletter. But I know that the newsletter is the best way for people that are not online to see what's going on. So that has gone out in the mail, and from what I hear, people have received it. Community education, that funds our weekly lecture series. It's $1,250, and that covers our speakers that come in, or our character actors, or anything that our cultural council grant doesn't cover. Health clinics is $4,500. This helps us to have health clinic lectures, along with supporting through the Board of Health shingle shots, pneumonia shots, and anything like that we can, if we have enough funds, we put out and give to the Board of Health so that our seniors will reap the benefits of those shots. Social activities is $4,000, and that covers all our equipment that we use in the kitchen, from plates to spoons to knives to forks, anything that covers that area. And let's see, office supplies is $7,500. That's at office supplies, paper, anything like that it's necessary to run the office. Uniform and clothing is a contracted. It's contracted under the. I just found my phone is going low. Hold on a minute. It's a contract. So in the union contract, so we can't play with that at all. It's what it is. Dues and memberships covers membership to Massachusetts Council on Aging, National Council on Aging, Northern Essex Elder Transport, and our video license so that we can show video production. This total comes to $292,159.54.
Irene, it looks like your video is just frozen. I think we have lost Irene. Okay, Irene? Okay. Paul, are you anywhere near Irene physically?
No, I'll call her though. Hold on.
I'd like to make a motion that we receive the budget information for 2021. We can't approve it, but we can acknowledge in our minutes that we have received it.
All right, Irene's having a problem with her computer, so she's going to try in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Dave has asked about the copy of the budget that Irene's talking about. We have not received that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying we should make a motion, and I'm moving it to receive the information that Irene presented so that it shows in our minutes we have heard her report on the budget.
Mhm. Okay, is there a second to that? Who's that, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Joe Nahill seconded the motion. Any discussion on that? I guess we can just say, yeah. Who's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everyone's approved unanimously on that we will receive the budget that Irene is speaking of prior to any vote to approve. I don't know that we need to approve it.
We didn't approve it. We didn't do it.
Yeah.
Irene, you're back? I think I see your lips.
That was an overview of our budget, and they asked us to level fund, which we did do. The other information that I just would like to give the board an overview of is.
Excuse me a second, Irene. Could I just ask you about the budget?
Yes.
Does the council need to do anything about the budget, or do you just present it to us?
No, that's I have to present it to the town manager, and they have already checked it over, and they've accepted it as I do what they instruct me to do. It's like I said, it's a level funded budget. We have no playing room this year at all. So you know,
Okay, the members would like to receive a copy of that. Can you send that to us?
I sure can. That's
Okay, thank you.
not a problem.
Okay,
The
all right.
other
So
thing,
what?
the
Go
other
on.
thing, can I read the significant changes that
Yes,
happened?
yes,
Okay.
please do.
In early April through the end of June, the Senior Center established a community food distribution site in coordination with the school lunch program and school nurses support. Food was distributed by way of drive-through twice weekly. At the end of FY20, that distribution ended. The Senior Center continued to request for donations for the food distribution site and delivered to the North Andover housing community into FY21. So that was just kind of a quick overview of what happened. There was a significant change that have impacted us from our usual routine. Our prior year accomplishments, we completed the 50+ Job Seekers Network program. And actually, we were informed that the library is going to pick up that program. And we were very successful with it. We ran 16 sessions. We had 133 people total attend. 10 out of the 10 sessions, 7 participants successfully landed new employment. So that was, it was a long stretch, and it was a lot of extra work for the staff because it was an evening program that we ran from here. And it did attract, it was for 50+, but I'll say that the average age was 64 and above in that program. Veterans Day, we did our 100 meals, were prepared at the senior center and delivered to homebound elders by 4 volunteers and 4 drivers. We've been maintaining our friendly visitor program by scheduling quarterly outreach at Sutton Pond and Woodridge community. Programs include various events promoting instructional, informational, holiday theme, and special interest topics. We had started a pilot program in, I think it was late March. We started it. No, it stopped in March. I'm sorry. It was Soup is On, and we were going to 2 housing communities. And we're the summer, as you know, we do the picnics in the housing. We do a monthly picnic in each housing community. Well, we wanted to continue something for the winter, so we did the Soup is On, and it was very successful. But because of COVID, we had to stop that program, but we are hoping to be able to pick that back up again. Brown bag distribution required delivery. All 47 bags have been delivered. We've had two times this past that the government had stopped the brown bag program from happening because of not enough volunteers to stack all the bags and get the bags out to the community. So for those 2 cases where we weren't delivering it, especially one was like the week of Christmas, people really count on that. That's a qualifying program. So you have to be very low income to receive any food from that program. Well, with our food distribution site, we made up multiple bags. We were able to give a $25 gift card in each bag that went out, and it was very much appreciated by the 48 folks that do receive that brown bag program. In June of FY20, the Board of Selectmen added 10 additional spots to our tax work-off program, and each participant completed 100 hours. But again, because of COVID, that program was shut down, and the town was really stepped up and covered all folks that had qualified for that program. And whether they completed their hours or not, they did receive the tax abatement. So I thought that was pretty wonderful that happened that way. So that's where we are. Of course, on our accounts that we have a our elder affairs grant that covers our part-timers. Our revolving account is money in, money out, and obviously no money is coming in at this point in time because we're not running programs or having classes. Our donation account, we've received probably about $400 in donations over the past quarter for the senior center. On our nutrition end, through the Friends and running the brown bag program, we've received probably over $20,000 between gift cards and checks that have come in to help us keep our food pantry, our food distribution site, with lots of food in it. So that's about my outlook. That has what's been going on here. Anyone have any questions? Yes, Dave.
I just wanted to say that I worked as a volunteer one Saturday, and it was in early December. And you have to imagine that large room at the senior center just stocked full with tables with food products. And that was the day that they had the cops car at the middle school, and we brought in hundreds of food items near the end of that morning. And for 5 hours, I helped pack bags and unpack the stuff that came from the middle school. And it's unbelievable the work that's going on there. And Deanna from the town does a fantastic job of reaching out to many, many people in our community.
Yes, she does. Actually, from Cram the Cruiser, we received over 9,000 items of food.
Oh.
If you can imagine, my part-timers, I'll tell you, they've stepped up. Dave came in and he worked with us on that Saturday, and we were able to sort through everything, get the tables all piled up. But it's a blessing because the food comes in and the food goes out, and we're really thankful for that. So every once in a while we panic, and just as we panic, more food comes in. So it's been really a wonderful, wonderful service that we've been providing, and it's really is reaching our homebound elders as well as our housing elders. The situation we have upcoming now is that on Tuesdays and Thursday we go to the housing community with the food. I have 2 staff members in the bus with a van driver, and we drive up to the community room. It's in the community rooms are still not open, so seniors have to come out to get the bags. And I mean, you can imagine that they don't dress accordingly to the weather. I mean, people have come out in slippers and a light sweater on. And so we're really rethinking that on how to do that. We want to continue getting the food to the housing community, but we want to make sure that the seniors are staying safe and aren't climbing over snowbanks to get out there. We are, but it's impossible for us to go to every single unit in all the buildings, and we have to have a drop-off center. So I'm not sure how we're going to continue that. We're going to come up with something over the next 2 weeks to start that up again. So that's where we are with that. The last thing I wanted to mention is division goals for next year. To continue collaborating with the Veterans Library, Youth Center, and the Community Support Coordinator to support older adults. We usually do programs with each of these organizations, which are all the support services within the community. The second one is to form an initial internal team of organizing, purging items that will no longer be serviced and in need for in the new building. So Carla has taken that project on, and we actually have, during our downtime, have emptied out the upstairs attic, and I bet you didn't know we have an attic here, but we do. And we have tons and tons of boxes that we have to purge through and reorganize and decide what will be going to the new building. And then our third goal is to hold a senior-friendly health fair, which we've done every year for the last 4 or 5 years, I'm not sure. But this year we'd like to do it at the Stevens Estate. It will give us an opportunity to have more room, the keynote speakers, and maybe have a keynote speaker and another guest speaker, and so people can choose whether they want to walk through the vendor area or they want to sit in the room. And then there will also be a separate place for lunch, whereas when we have it here, everything's kind of on top of each other. So those are the goals that we put forth for next year. And the division goals are, our division is community services, senior center, veterans, library, and youth center. These 5 departments, we all work together, and we haven't come up with the division goals, but we will be coming up with those shortly. So that's where we are with that. Any questions?
Yes, this is Joe McCarthy concerning elder services and money. And this question is directed primarily to you, Irene, and also to Larry. Suzanne McGuire, if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, she replaced Martha Cashman as head of the Friends of the Seniors in, I believe, July of last year. Have there been any monthly meetings with her, which have included members of our Council on Aging?
No, the only person that we have met with and is the secretary, excuse me, because we give her checks that she deposits in the Friends account, and it gives us more access to the funds that people donate if they go through the Friends than if they went through the town. So we do meet with Sharon quite often, well, once a month. And she lets us know where we are because we have that grant, $15,000 grant, and we need to spend that down by April 1st, or April 30th, I think. And like I said, we have received numerous checks for food insecurity, food support for seniors. So we've been very fortunate that way. But no, there has been no meeting of the Friends.
Which is understandable, especially considering that we're in the midst of a pandemic right now. I do hope that changes in the not too distant future. Another question, who has access to the contributions given to our town through the Friends?
Through the Friends, who has access to it?
Yes. And is there any oversight into this access?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Everything is documented, and it's done by we give Sharon the checks. She records in her spreadsheet, and then if we need funds, she takes them. She knows that anything that has a food bank on it, we have access to those funds. We can say we're going to BJ shopping. Can you give us a check for $1,000? And that's how we've been handling it. And like the gift cards, we're able to purchase to get out to seniors to support our drivers that do our Meals on Wheels program and things like that. So that's the oversight from there.
Thank you, Irene.
Both Carla and I definitely have our thumbs on that.
Yeah, thank you, Irene. How's everybody on the staff feeling during this time?
Well, I think I can speak for myself and I can speak for Carla because she's usually sitting right across from me every day. And we're pretty exhausted. And the whole food angle has really changed what our job looks like. But it's a much more, I have to say, it's a much more rewarding feeling for me personally to know that we are actually making a difference in so many people's lives. And that to me is more important than having a tea party. You know, it's, I feel like we're so lucky and we receive calls all the time. We make up food bags to people, we deliver them. We're working with Deanna. We got out, I think it was 12 full turkey dinners for Christmas. And you know, it's just been a blessing. I just, the community as a whole has stepped up and is completely supporting us, and the churches as well. So we're very, very happy about that.
That's great. So you feel like you're getting the help you need?
Well, the only help I can have in the building is staff, and then it's limited to 25% of my staff. Now think about it. I have actually 5 staff people. One is a van driver, so he can't be in the building at all. So that and we work 5 days a week, so it means one person in the building at a time. Carla and I have kind of spaced ourselves. Paula will stay upstairs when she's working, and you know, Paula has been amazing. She has taken over the role of the minutes and getting all those things up for us, and because this is a whole new thing to us all, you know, and we definitely try to work together as a team, and it's kind of hard when we're not all in the building at the same time. So, you know, you think you might say something to someone sitting across from you, and then it leaves your mind, and then you realize when you get home that you should have maybe sent out an email and told somebody else and passed the word on. It's hard. Communications is really hard right now.
Yeah, I could imagine. Is there anything you think you could use from either our council members or the Friends?
No, the Friends, like I said, have been amazing. Without them, we wouldn't have access to these funds that we've been getting in because, I mean, if a check goes into our donation account in the senior center, in order for us to access that check, we have to go out and use our personal money to purchase what we need, and we have to put in an invoice, and then we give it to Paula, and she sends it upstairs, and they decide whether they feel like that was where to go to. For the most time that we get it back within a month. But you know, it's hard. So with the Friends, we have much more access to the funds that we need when we need to go to BJ shop, and we need to have the cash then, you know, to do it. You know, when we can't wait 2 weeks till the warrant gets signed and we can get a check for it. So it's been interesting, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
Well, thank you. I'm glad it's going as well as it think it can be.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, guess we'll move on to the next item. Maria, you had a few things to report.
Yes, yes. Actually, there are several prospects that we were aware of that have shown interest in the COA board. Start with Jennifer Melanson. She's her background is actually activities director for seniors for the past 13 years. Not sure where she does this, but that's her background. And another one is, this is a real interesting one, Eileen Donovan. Eileen is the community service director at Brightview, and apparently she also has showed interest in joining the board. So those are 2 good prospects. And I spoke with I spoke with a gentleman. His name is Steve St. Jean. He's a retired engineer, and he seemed to be interested, but the thing is to get him to apply. So he said he's thinking about it, but I'm not too excited about him doing it in the near future. And the last person is Heather Takishan. Apparently, she sent a note that she wanted to know more information about our board. So, and she's already been interviewed by the select board, and she really wants to join the membership. So I spoke to her, I called her, and we had a very nice conversation. And I talked to her, I told her what our mission was, what our vision was. And, you know, and the little things like when the meetings are actually now on the phone, but Zoom meetings, but still the day and the hour. And she really, really is interested in joining. So, like I said, she did speak with the board, the select board, and now I guess she's waiting to hear from them.
And I think
For,
from what I hear from
yes,
what
go
I hear,
ahead.
what I hear from Jillian at the town manager's office is, you know, they're asking for our input on that. And as you know, Maria, with our bylaws and stuff, it wants your committee to make a recommendation to us. And then when we agree with that recommendation, we pass that on as a suggestion to the select board that they go ahead and appoint her. So when you think that you're ready to recommend or nominate Heather or anyone else, then please, you know, make it like as a motion at our meeting, and then we can go from there.
Well, in speaking with Heather, I really think she'd be a great fit. And I have my other two board members here with, I think they're on the phone today with us, Quintera and Jennifer. So I would ask them how they felt about, I don't have that much background on her, but it sounds like she's really interested and she does have the background. It seems, can we make a motion now? If Jennifer is in agreement.
Yeah, or would you rather consider this separately or report back next time, or should we go ahead right now? What's anybody think?
Well, I'm thinking if we wait till next time, there's another month that we have open, you know?
Dave has a comment he'd like to make.
Yeah, I don't think we have any position to accept or reject. If the town select board appoints a person, we receive them.
That is true. But we also have in our bylaws that we have a nominating committee whose task is to nominate prospective members for the council. And once the council nominates the prospective member of our board or council, and that is suggested to the select board.
Maria, is there a way maybe we can just give it a week to let maybe the other candidates go through the select board, and then we can kind of review the handful of options and then, you know, kind of report back on our top, you know, couple favorite, like the people that we thought just were the best fit for the board?
That's fine with me.
Is there, I personally don't have direct contact with the select board because my biggest issue as part of the nominating committee is I've been told by, you know, like Eileen, for a while now that she might apply, and then, but I never really knew, did she? And, you know, like I've been posting this out into the universe and I was never really sure if anybody was like doing anything with it. So in just the last week, I posted it again and Eileen came back and Jennifer came back. And so that one's I knew, but who do I speak to over there? Who would you recommend that I speak to just be sure like these people are following through?
I kind of get the impression that Jillian in the town manager's office is the
Yeah.
person to talk to, that she kind of coordinates that for the select board. Irene, do you think that's,
I agree. Jillian would be the person to speak with.
Okay, what's her last name?
what is it? Is it
Brothers, I think.
Jillian Brothers?
Okay, Maria, do you mind if I send her an email to just say, could
no,
you?
that's certainly fine with me.
Okay.
That's
All right, and
certainly
I'll
fine
get
with
back with you, and then we'll kind of have maybe a separate call to just go over the candidates, make our recommendation, and that can be that.
That,
and then
that
hopefully
sounds perfect.
Okay.
Yep, that sounds perfect with me.
This
Okay,
is
that's-
Joe McCarthy.
Jillian's phone number is 978-688-9510. And her email is jbrothers, BROTHERS, @northandoverma.gov.
This is Joe McCarthy. This nominating committee, as well as other committees in our bylaws, some of this is quite new to our town. Certainly under our new town manager, Melissa Rodriguez, it's very much in place. Prior to her, but prior town managers, such as I think his name is Andy Maylaw, we didn't have this at all. Everything was done by the town manager with input from the selectmen, and now, fortunately, there is input from the different boards in our department. For example, chairing the Board of Health. I do have input as far as the openings, and that information is forwarded to not only the town manager, but the select board. So this is uncharted territory for us to a certain extent. And I'm delighted that Melissa has opened it up and is looking for particular boards.
Joe Sturgey had a relationship with, I don't know who was the chairperson on the selectman board at the time, but there was always some kind of conversation happening. It never was the blanket blank that someone just showed up and we didn't know who they were. There was definitely conversation, but I think.
Well, I can say, being on the Board of Health, that when there were openings in the past, the input that we had from the board was, even though we tried, non-existent.
Yeah.
The decision was made by the town manager with input from the select board. So this is new. There may be exceptions such as Joe, and that's terrific, but this is new overall.
Okay, anything else, Maria?
No, that's it, unless Jennifer or Quintara have anything to add to that.
No.
I think Quintara already added. So I think we're all
Okay.
set with our
So
presentation.
we're all set to move on.
Right.
Quintari, you had some items with your group. I think you
Yeah,
would like
so
to say
for
something.
the abatement, for the special committee related to the abatements, I just got an email yesterday back from the town assessor saying how he is interested in meeting. So the follow-up, so just to fill everybody in, I had a meeting with Bill at the assessor's office to just kind of go over the idea and kind of pitch. We're coming into a new tax season yet again. There's no virtual way for the seniors to really know what they may qualify for. There's no easy way to know. We're going to have $100,000 given to this new senior center to fund technology. I would love there to be some things for the seniors to do on the computer. So could we move this forward? And he was fine with the idea. So he said to send him kind of an outline of what this questionnaire might look like. I had already made that, probably almost a year ago at this point. So I just forwarded that right along real fast and said, here's my outline of kind of all the parameters of each abatement and what questions might need to be asked to figure out eligibility for each one. And the only unfortunate thing is Chris McClure, who was originally managing the town website, has since left. So now there's somebody new who may be perfectly fine. I just don't know who he is yet. Chris McClure had indicated to Joe and I that it would be really no problem to build this website, and he was, from a skill set capable of, shaping it all out. So I have to now hear from this new person. But Bill reached out yesterday and set a meeting with me at 9 a.m. on Thursday, this coming Thursday, with the new website person whose name is John Highland. So they've been somehow indicating they just want to keep the group small. But if anybody, I mean, we're a committee. So if anybody else wants to join it, I think, that just needs to happen. So it doesn't need to be so exclusive with just me. So if anybody is interested, just let me know and I will forward along. It's just a Google Meet link like this is. And I'll just let them know that we might have a couple more people attending. But I don't know that the agenda is going to be too heavy. It might just be kind of a meet and greet with this website guy to go over the spreadsheet I sent him to just see if it's possible for him to build this out for us. And I'll report back to everybody.
Tower, when is that meeting?
So it's this coming Thursday, January 14th at 9 a.m. with a web call just like this one.
Okay, I'm tied up at that time. I wouldn't be able to make it, but
Okay.
let me see if Carla can possibly step in on it.
Okay. Well, you know what I'll do is I'm just going to reply back to everybody on like the latest email with the link, and whoever can come, please come. Because I mean, the first meeting was just me and him, but I would love to have more voices at the meeting.
Okay, good. Well, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the Bill's last name?
Mitchell. Yeah, William Mitchell and John Highland, Hyland.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Well, like to say thank you to Irene, Maria, and Quintara. Those were the 3 items that people submitted to be on the agenda. So there were no other additional agenda items. Does anybody have anything else they would like to add or bring up?
Yeah, I'd like to give the monthly report,
Okay.
monthly Ivis report.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
This will take about 5 or 10 minutes, and much of this information is very, very important, not only to our town, but to our council. So as I stated in the past reports, an excellent source of information on the coronavirus is the town's online update. Also, I stated there was good news and bad news on the coronavirus. The good news is that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines have received emergency use authorization and are being given to people following the state's priority list. The bad news is that the vaccine continues to rapidly spread. Let me go over some highlights, statistical highlights, starting with our country concerning the vaccine. The total cases now, 23 million, which is approximately 7% of our population. Those who have recovered, approximately 14 million. Related deaths, approximately 380,000. In Massachusetts, the total cases, approximately 414,000. The 7-day average positive rate, that is, you take the test, and is it positive or negative? 7.3% is positive, which is very high, and that number continues to go up, unfortunately. Patients currently in hospitals, approximately 2,200, and the average age is 73. Related deaths in Massachusetts, approximately 13,000. Now here in North Andover, total cases, almost 2,000. Active, about 250, recovered and out of isolation, about 1,600, and related deaths, 69. These statistics are considerably worse than what I reported last month. Now, the governor has implemented restrictions to help contain the virus, effective until at least January 24th. And some highlights: must wear face masks while in public places, indoor and outdoor. Most industries are masked, subject to 25% capacity. Restaurants limited to 25 people. That's really devastating to restaurants, even here in town. For example, Panera Bread, they're open now, they had been closed for several days after an automobile crashed through their front window. And that on 25% capacity. So let's do what we can. And I think this is virtual. People can be listening in. Let's do what we can to help our local restaurants during this very, very period of time. Private gatherings, including private homes, limited to 10 people inside and 25 people outside. There's a 14-day quarantine restriction for returning to work after having had the virus or been exposed to anyone who has had the virus. And if you're traveling to and from Massachusetts, there's a 14-day quarantine restriction or negative coronavirus test taken within 6 hours of arriving back in Massachusetts. Now, there are exceptions such as people commuting to and from work, from out of state, schools, persons receiving medical treatment out of state, military personnel, persons performing critical infrastructure services, et cetera, et cetera. Now, this is the good news, and there's a lot of good news since I reported last month. The Food and Drug Administration has authorized the use of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. I just want to take less than a minute to talk about these vaccines. These are newly developed, what is referred to as mRNA vaccines that teach our cells how to make protein that triggers an immune response, producing antibodies that protect us against the coronavirus. Moderna is developing new mRNA vaccines for other viruses, such as flu and HIV. We know during the flu season, the effectiveness of the vaccines have been very, very low, sometimes 30%. So these are potential breakthroughs that certainly concern our seniors because we are the ones that are most vulnerable to many of these diseases and ailments. And the prior vaccines, prior to the mRNA, basically you get a vaccine, the vaccine was a dead or a weakened virus. Now, the priority list in Massachusetts to receive the vaccines, which are in short supply, phase 1 through January the 31st, clinical providers and non-clinical staff who have direct contact with COVID-19 patients, nursing homes over 65 years old, first responders. Phase 2, and this concerns most of us, February the 1st through March the 31st. Individuals with 2 comorbidity issues such as heart, diabetes, cancer, and so forth, and or age 75 or over, they will be eligible first in line starting February the 1st. Early education and K-12 workers, transit, grocery, utility, food, agricultural, sanitation, public works, and public health will be the next in line. People over 65, and finally, individuals with 1 comorbidity issue. Phase 3 after March the 31st, general public. So basically, all of us, well, most of us, certainly those of us that are over 65, will be able to be vaccinated by March 31st. Approximately 6 million Americans have received at least 1 shot of the 2-shot vaccine. Joe Biden says that within the first 100 days of his administration, there would be enough vaccines for an additional 100 million Americans. I said this in the past, but I do want to further elaborate upon it. When approximately 70% of the population has recovered from the virus or been vaccinated, the spread will stop. That's called herding. And presently, only about 6% of the population has recovered from the virus or been vaccinated. But that percentage is going up real fast. And hopefully herding will be in place by the second half of this year. Now, these are questions to all of you that are on our board and all of you that may be listening in right now.
I'm going to have to check out. My wife has a meeting on Zoom. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Okay. When will you be eligible to receive the vaccine? When will the vaccine be given? Where will it be given? And when will our senior center reopen? Of all the items being worked on by our Council on Aging, our involvement in reopening our senior center could be the most important. So the eligibility of seniors, as I said, as noted, seniors in nursing homes are now eligible, and other seniors over 65 will be eligible starting February the 1st. Where will it be given? Contact your primary care physician. Review relevant information on our town's website. And as of yesterday, the town's first responders, that is a policeman and the firemen, started to receive the vaccine given in our fire department. Town does plan, I repeat, town does plan to give vaccines to our seniors too. The details will be forthcoming. After February the 1st, you should be able to make an appointment if you're over 65 at CVS or Walgreens. Both pharmacies have apps through which you will be able to make an appointment for the vaccine, or you could, as you could do right now, for testing of the virus, for example. When will our senior reopen? We have not talked about this, and this is a medical and a political decision. And politics so far concerning the coronavirus in our country have been varied. However, if seniors receive the first vaccine by the end of March and the second vaccine by the end of April, then our senior center should be able to reopen in May or June at the latest. For this timeline, support may be needed from our Council on Aging. No, let me rephrase that. For this timeline, support will be needed. And Larry, I can work with you because you're the chair of the Council on Aging and I'm the chair of our Board of Health. Reopening our senior center is important, especially considering the forced isolation of seniors, which has been absolutely devastating. So finally, I hope to have him present more information on vaccine availability and shot location by the next Board of Health meeting on Thursday, January the 28th, which will be broadcast on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 26. Questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Joe.
So once
Thank
again,
you,
Larry,
Joe.
we're going to have to work with people like Irene and Deanna and others and Melissa on reopening our senior center because the vaccines are coming rapidly for us seniors.
Hi, Joe. I spoke with the Board of Health probably Monday and yesterday, I guess. And he said he can't see the vaccines even coming near us till mid-April. So I don't think it's going to happen as quickly as people would like it to. And senior centers are not given a priority at all. We, MCOA, Massachusetts Councils on Aging, fought to see if they could get us in the first round just because we're dealing with elders constantly, but it was refused because there's so many situations that would be impacted by that. So,
well, to an extent, I agree with you. There has been a delay in the distribution of these vaccines. Hopefully, Biden is good for his word as far as the availability of these vaccines. I'm not talking about vaccines made available to senior centers. I'm talking about vaccines made available to seniors.
That's what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, well, the government said, as yesterday I checked, look, we should be vaccinated if we want to be vaccinated by the end of March. Now, if all seniors are vaccinated by the end of March that want to be vaccinated, and you wait another month for this 3 to 4 weeks for the second shot, then we're talking about May or June to reopen our senior center. It's going to be very political in North Andover, as well as the state, as well as the federal government. But
the other question too, if I may interrupt, there are people that do not want to get the shot. So
that's not a problem, because what they do, they should still be, this has to be worked through. Perhaps we would have a card or some type of notification that we can provide other people that we have been vaccinated. Those who do not want to be vaccinated, as a minimum, the temperature should be checked as they go into the senior center. As our temperatures are checked when we go into hospitals right now, when we go into restaurants and so on and so forth. And there are other things that we can do. We can ask questions. So there are things that we can do to protect our seniors while at the same time open our senior center. I had thought as recent as last month that our senior center would be the last area of our town that will be completely open. But hopefully it'll be one of the first if we can do it safely. A lot of work, Larry, we got on that.
I can't see us opening early at all. To be honest with you, it was just
If it can be done medically, do it. But now the politics will raise
Right.
it.
because it would take one person to come in here that could take out quite a few of our seniors, and that's the fear, I mean, it just,
I think everybody's doing the best job they can right now, and I
would
think
we like to
people,
be open? Absolutely. Can we open safely? Absolutely not. We cannot open safely. So it's
We
not
don't know
even,
that yet. We don't know that yet. We can't say. How can you say we can't open safely in 2 to 3 months, if not longer? You can't say that. We don't. You're probably right, but you might be wrong.
okay,
I should say 4 months or so.
yeah. Well, I appreciate, the concerns. We all have the same kind of concerns in trying to figure out where we're going to go. And I'm trusting that Joe and Irene and the town and everybody is going to keep working through this and do the best we can for the town and its people. And I see we've reached the 10 o'clock hour, which is when we normally adjourn. So unless somebody has some business they'd like to bring up they think is urgent, I wonder if anyone would like to move that we adjourn.
I make a move. I'll second it.
Okay. Any opposed? Well, thank you. I hope you all stay well, be healthy, and if there's anything you need or would like to talk about, let me know.
Thank you, Larry.
Yep.
Have a good week.
Have
Thank
good
you
week.
all. Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.